Hello and welcome to the Chatterbox Letters podcast. I will be reading to you my explanation for my podcast. What web I satin weave at the Chatterbox Letters podcast. How many webs included satin weave above and beyond the horizon? Acquired minds would like to especially know the beef of the matter. Let me stroll throughout this live passage. Time and time again, I express my gratitude towards my podcast and what it does for me as a person with high demands for podcasting. I thought of myself, what should I start putting on my podcast? I know I need a topic to make my podcast more interesting, and I do have topics I want to put out there, and that's a must so I can bring my audience to attention. Number 1, a season premiere that's coming up soon where I can wake up my podcast with some topics I know my viewers will like and appreciate. This is why I designed a casting call to bring in my audience to come and pick out their topics of their choosing, then broadcast the topic at hand. Number 2, I know then my podcast will start to really gain more attention. Acknowledging the love my podcast will bring to the table. I am not joking when I say that. I'm very true to what I feel will be a great broadcast, topics and all. This is what I want for my season 1 premiere. Not sure of an exact date, but I do have it set for August 31st, just in case. And that's what I've chosen, but I want to be sure and not lead my audience into a frenzy. This is why a specific date is not challenged yet. I know I got to do something more to wake up my podcast. My twin sister always say, bring in the people. Let them know about your podcast and what you're about to do instead of dragging along, daydreaming about what ifs, what's not done. I need to procrastinate, find my audience, and get a move on finding that audience, because my podcast will go a long ways coming. You know she's right. She's right about all of that. And then some, I have to say. I got to set my mind into full speed ahead and procrastinate what I feel will make a great podcast and stop messing around with it. Yes, I need to stop messing around and open up all of my possibilities, which I have. I have to offer my potential public and move on to bigger and better things to the world of podcasting. And it has everything to offer me in return. Yes, I'm tired of lollygagging around and round the circumference and put more on what I make a good podcaster. Now I understand what's really going on and why I need to make my podcast official. I got better things to do with my podcast. What web I satin weave all there is to do with the topics that I have and put them up for use in the meantime and let the games begin in a heartbeat. This was what I started podcasting so I can gain an audience and become a successful podcaster. That was and is my dream to do so. What web I still satin weave, the spider spinning its webs from west to east, from east to west, and round I go. The spider has created a pattern for me to follow, and that's by God and His Son Jesus, to guide me all the way to the top of the world in podcasting. Yes, I really understand the concept now. God and His Son Jesus is guiding me. All I got to do is follow suit to what I am supposed to do, and that's podcasting. Bring in my topics and audience and cut loose towards success, and that's the way we spell success. Now I am ready to perform some miracles and more on to what I'm supposed to do, and then the same. Everyone, I would like for y'all to like, share, subscribe to my podcast. Hit that notification button to know when I always go live. Ring that bell for updates on my podcast. And like I always say, if you have a chatter letter I can broadcast on my podcast, please send that chatter letter to the Chatterbox Letters Podcast, Post Office Box 5556, Lakeland, Florida 33807. Let me repeat that. Send your chatter letter to the Chatterbox Letters Podcast, Post Office Box 5556, Lakeland, Florida 33807. You can write whatever you want to write in your chatter letter. Just keep it clean, your words clear and discreet. And like I always say, please do not hesitate to send your chatter letter to me. Please procrastinate and send your letter today, because I would like to receive my first letter from anybody who out there in the world who would like to write a letter to the Chatterbox Letters. Please let me receive that first letter. I pray on it in Jesus' name. I pray to broadcast on my podcast. So I want that first letter, everybody. please do not procrastinate. Well, procrastinate. I don't want to say do not. I want you to procrastinate and send your letter in today.